You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The ecosystem approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach Show. This is part 2 of our question and answer that we did a few weeks ago. We'll continue answering questions we received over the years. Now is the time to get personal and see how this work has affected us and our lives. We'll answer some of the personal questions that you may have wondered about and talk about how we use our unique energy perspective in our everyday life. Stay tuned, everyone. Yes?
You're going to do the weird...
Okay. We are married intuitives with over 25 years experience who created the ecosystem approach. This is a groundbreaking way to see yourself in this age of Aquarius. We help you unleash healing and potential that is unknown today and is totally unique to you personally. This is not your typical type of energy work. We help you with life-changing internal discovery that is powerful, rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Jason, well, let me ask you, I'm going to start with a question for you. Does that work for you?
Sure.
All right. What are some of the things we've learned over the years?
Well, let's give people context, okay?
Okay.
Here we are. We got the window. Usually we have this closed,
yes,
and we have it blacked out. We're wearing casual clothes.
Correct.
This is a pre-record for Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we haven't slept in 2 weeks because of Mom. So
actually, it's been a little bit more.
Yeah,
yes.
And we're exhausted and we're punchy, and so hi everybody. This is us. so we're gonna be super casual with this, and
okay.
We're gonna enjoy this, but. We're just going to jump in and just kind of go back and forth and
okay, I like that,
and have fun with it, and in a kind of a relaxed way. So
okay, all right. So Jason, let me ask your question again.
Okay,
what have we learned over the years?
Oh my gosh, one of the big things, and this was part of our evolution, is that before 2008. Just before the
crash,
the
stock market crash,
and we had a thriving business based on referrals.
We did,
and we were doing 6, 7, 8 people a day.
Yes, the most I remember. I counted one day. I did 11 people in one day.
And we were exhausted. And at the end of that, it was like we couldn't put a sentence together. It was we were
yes.
kind of drooling at the mouth.
Exactly, those kind of things. Exactly.
And
yes.
One of the things that was clear to us, and we know this now, and this is part of what we're doing with you guys, and just so you know, kind of the backstory.
Okay.
There's a difference between caretaking and learning.
Yes.
And when we help. We put ourselves out there and say, we're going to help remove the negative energy from your life so you can have a better life.
Correct.
And we show up with good energy.
Yes, we do.
And people don't understand what that means, but
people always want to be around us.
They want to be around us.
Yes.
They want more of it.
Yes.
And inadvertently, what happens is they latch onto us, and it's compulsive. It's not mean-spirited. It's not.
No.
It's not. They're not trying to do it on purpose.
Right.
But what happens is that it's depleting.
Mm-hmm.
So after a full day of 6, 7, 8 people, we are completely exhausted.
Correct.
And typically, what we did, especially in the beginning, is that when we work with someone, we give them some of our energy.
Yes.
To
help them along.
Yes, to help them along.
Yes.
And that's not the way we're designed. That's not the way this world is designed.
In other words, if I can boil that one down, it is something that we learned, but we had to learn it through doing, as opposed to standing back and going, oh, this is right and this is wrong. We actually had to get in there and in the trenches, so to speak. And we really did learn, we learned a few things, such as what neediness is all about.
Yes.
We learned
neediness is a huge thing, by the way.
And people just brush it off as if it's no big deal.
It sounds very benign.
It really does. And it's not.
It's not.
And one of the things, and I'm going to jump forward 25 years and jump forward and say that I love Jason's mother dearly. I'm sure that if you haven't caught on to that one, I want everyone to know that. But her neediness is it depletes positive energy, and she doesn't mean it. This is not like she's out there going, well, I'm taking their energy because it's not that way at all. She is completely unaware that she does it. And that's the part that most people think, well, neediness is it's so benign, nobody notices. Neediness can deplete you of your own vital energy and keep you from your purposes in life.
Not only that, people have come to us over the years talking about, I'm not in love anymore, or I don't have the same feeling. Well, there's a good chance that comes from the neediness of both partners depleting each other. Mm-hmm. And then they say, oh, we're not in love anymore. No, it's not that you're not in love anymore. Right. You don't have anything left to give.
Exactly. Or the energy to even take.
Yes.
And so people have a tendency to go their separate ways. And by the way, activating life force energy, and that's something we do at the end of every show. That's one of the reasons we activate that life force energy, is to give yourself back that connection to life force energy, most powerful energy in the world. You hear me say it every show, but it is the truth. And if you use it every day, start your day with it, end your day with it.
You can't get too much.
No, you cannot.
Can't get too much, no. And it feels really good. I've had my own. I've been very opinionated about it because because of all this information out there about positive mental attitude.
Yeah,
people just don't want to be negative, so they don't want to do the clearing. They just want the positive stuff.
Well, the problem, and can I jump in and comment on that? Just doing the positive stuff. That's great.
There's no change.
There is no change. And then what happens? That you put positive on top of the negative, and I guarantee you that negative is going to start eating. It's going to start eating that positive away. And you're going to wonder, well, what did I pay for? Or how come I'm not feeling like they say?
Is almost like a parasite.
It is a parasite
that
hands down
takes
really
that good energy for correct. Itself and not for you.
Exactly. And by the way, if you want to heal yourself, you need that life force energy that we talk about, absolutely vital energy. But in order to use vital energy correctly, you need to remove the negative energy, not only from the programming that you have, the programming that we've all been trained in, your emotional story, but also
your Enneagram type.
And there you go, and your Enneagram type. Hey, I'm talking here.
Well,
what happens, everyone, is we love what we do. And we both get really excited when we get to help someone understand what we do and how we can help someone not only be a better person. And I don't mean it quite the way it might sound, but be the person that you came here to be. All of us come here with a purpose or purposes, and when we don't get to do those purposes, I'm sorry to say that we have to come back and do it again, because we have goals and such.
And the truth is that what we see is that we're not making any progress.
Yes.
In this world, we don't end our life and saying, oh yeah, I I removed all this negative energy.
And so
They
I'm
just-
better for it.
They just figured out how to cope with it.
Yes.
And they see that as wisdom, and it's not wisdom.
Yeah,
And they get to the end of their life, and they just have to do it all over again.
exactly. And the bottom line is that it's time for us to stop having to do it all over again. And if you use the ecosystem approach, the bottom line is that I'm gonna make a pretty good guess here. You're not gonna have to do it again. Your things are going to be different for you. And Jason said to me last night, "Do you realize how different you are from when we very first met?" And I'm gonna say, here we go. Yep. Completely different. He saw in me what I couldn't see in myself 25 years ago or 26 years ago. And I have to say, I am so grateful for that, because underneath, I knew that there was a person with a purpose. I knew there was a soul, an essence with a purpose, but I also knew that I could actually, in that purpose, I could make a difference, not only for myself, but for so many people around me. And I'm going to say, come and join us for this amazing journey. It's not easy. I'm not going to say, oh, it's 1, 2, 3. It's no big deal. I'm going to say, come and join us for this journey that matters, that will make you laugh and cry. And, but this journey that is part of your soul purpose.
Well, and here's the whole point that we started with that we didn't get to. Okay.
Oh,
and the
of
time's
course.
almost, our purpose, is not to caretake, but to teach.
That is correct.
And what we found is that when we're working with individual clients, we're taking care of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we don't
exactly.
We do that all the time. We do it easily. We don't mind doing it.
Correct.
And that's fine. But at a certain point, it's destructive, because
it can be. Yes.
I want to start with the next segment.
Okay.
Talk about how we're going to change the world. How's that for a segment?
Okay, I actually like that a lot.
Let's talk about that.
And by the way, Life with Jason is not dull.
So, I mean, do you even know what the outro is?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, just
here we go. Stay tuned when we come back. We're going to have some more questions and answers that we're asking each other. And you're going to gain a little bit different perspective, I think, on who Jason and I are, and maybe even the ecosystem approach. So stay tuned, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. Hi, everyone. We're back. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. And we had a question at the end of the last segment, and it's this. Jason, how are we going to change the world?
I like to talk about this because I think it's interesting, and everybody wants to change the world. If there's a new deodorant, they say it's going to change the world, and there's, if there's AI is going to change the world, everything out there's so many things out there that are going to change
Correct.
the world. But I've really thought a lot about this, and the way I think I don't want to hesitate. I don't want to dilute this.
Okay.
I know this is true.
Okay.
I know this would work.
What do you know to be true?
So if you imagine, and we've talked about this before, we've talked about how our essence, most people come in on the average with 80% of their essence, their soul.
That is correct.
Covered up with dark energy,
Yeah.
negative
energy.
Yeah. So if you put that into if you simplified that,
Okay.
and say our essence is made up of 100 bits of life force,
Okay.
and 80 of those bits are covered with negative energy.
Okay.
And so you have 20 left.
All right.
Okay. I know that we've worked with so many people over the world over the years, and we've continued to work with a lot of people to go really deep.
Yes.
So instead of having 80, they have 70, 60, 50.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. We both have seen it.
Yes. It's
Yes.
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And I think so. So here's my and if I'm getting too nerdy, you have to tell me. So you're my
problem.
you're my last person to tell me when I'm getting way too out there. But
Okay.
Instead of trying to get a few people to, instead of having 80 bits that are covered up,
Okay.
have a few people get to 50 bits.
Okay.
It would be far better for us to get 100,000 or 10,000 people
Correct.
to have 79 bits.
Or
in other words, just one little bit of negative energy to clear, gone,
and it will change. It will change people's perspectives, attitudes, which I don't really like to use that, but perspective, attitudes, outlook, and even how they see themselves and the people around them.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's so awesome. Now, Jason and I have done. I got to jump in here.
Yeah.
Now you set
me
on fire.
You said you were just going to be quiet during this second. She says that to me a lot, so it's okay.
The bottom line is that is really exciting to me, and the reason is, if you think about one person changing their perspective, but everybody else around them can't change their perspective. Pretty soon, that one person that did change their perspective, they go, oh, well, it's hopeless and I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
Because it's too hard.
Yes.
But if you have a group, we'll start with 5, 10, 20, 100, 1,000. When those people can change the energy and change their perspective on something that isn't right, I'll say, in the world.
Yeah.
It is one of the most amazing things that we've seen because it works, and the new ideas and the new the new revving up of positive energy, it spreads. It's beautiful.
It is, and so many people have gone so far and they couldn't handle it anymore.
Yes, that's true.
And they quit.
Yes,
and that's okay. You know, there are a lot of people that can't handle going from 80% to 60% in this lifetime. They can't handle it. It's okay.
Well, and the reason is because the programming and negative energy work in tandem with each other, and do the collective thing. And I'm going to say this, the viciousness of how it reaches out and causes havoc in someone's life. But when you have 10 people and that negative energy is trying to do that, those 10 people go, wait a minute, I'm not fighting with you. You're going in the processor. I don't need you, and neither do the rest of my 9 friends.
I've always had this vision that we would.
It's a good one.
And so what we're trying to do, we're about to launch a membership site, and all the details are forthcoming. So that's coming, but we're looking for people that will be connected to us for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
But even if you're not, even if that doesn't happen, even if they're connected to us for a month, it's okay, because if we can remove one bit of that negative energy,
absolutely,
they're going to be on a different trajectory for the rest of their life.
In a very positive way.
Very positive way. And those people that have quit, come
on back.
There's no hard feelings.
No.
The truth is that what happens when people quit is they get to a point where they say, okay, this is too hard.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
We see all these people doing these extreme sports, jumping out of airplanes, climbing Mount Everest,
things like that. Sure.
Doing super marathons, all these things. Okay. Yeah. If they just removed 1 or 2 bits of that negative energy,
right.
And there was enough of them that did it. Once we get a critical mass of people removing that amount of negative energy,
correct,
the world will shift. Now, this is the age of Aquarius,
which means, explain that real fast.
It creates a potential, for this change, and it creates energy that encourages that change. But it doesn't make it happen.
No, we have to make it happen.
Yes, we have to make a choice, have an intention,
correct,
to make it happen. So what we're trying to do is, instead of doing working with just a few people,
Yes.
and
Yes.
which is depleting for us, because of that energy exchange is off.
Correct.
That we can make a big difference in the world if we can get, instead of a few people, we get 100
Yes.
or 1,000
Yes.
or 10,000 or 100,000.
Yes.
Then things start to happen.
Well, and
Things start to happen.
not only things start to happen for the world, but things will also start happening for you as an individual, because you've changed. You started changing the energy, and you start with yourself. It's awesome.
The other thing is that we're here. Human beings are designed to help each other.
Exactly.
So if I remove one bit of negative energy, and then I'm with you and I help you
remove one bit. Actually, I want two.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then it kind of goes back and forth. We've always talked about having a clearing buddy.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh,
People don't understand that, but if when it gets difficult, which it always does,
and it does,
we have each other. When
Yes.
it gets difficult, which it does, it's gotten difficult for both of us
Yes.
a lot. We work with each other and help each other and say,
Correct.
okay, let's just take one step further.
Well, and I'm gonna chime in and say, yes, we have each other, and then our children come to us, and our children say, "Mom, Dad, can you help us with this, that, or the other?" And one of the nicest things of all is to have your children trust you with the essence of who they are, and see that we've made a difference for ourselves, so they know we can make a difference and help them.
And if we're in teaching mode as opposed to caregiving mode,
That is correct.
then we can teach you how to remove that negative energy. So maybe you'll remove that one this year in 2024, but maybe in 2025,
Yeah.
you'll remove 5 bits
That's
or
correct.
10 bits.
That's correct.
And maybe you'll get someone in your life who will help you remove those 5
Yes.
bits, and
Yes.
you'll help the other person remove those 5 bits.
Exactly.
That's how it's sort of like compound interest. I'm getting nerdy now again.
Wait,
But it just once it has a critical mass of people,
Correct.
it's really, really exciting and
very powerful.
very powerful.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
so if you're listening to this, you've been with us for a while.
Mhm.
First of all, way to go.
Yes.
Most people can't handle it. Most people can't look at themselves for a sustained period.
Correct.
And not reject it. Say this is too hard.
Mhm.
I remember I had a client. I like telling these stories because it's
good.
I think it's instructive.
So do I.
She said, "You're trying to take away my anger," and she saw her anger as her power.
Yes.
She was, by the way, she was an Enneagram 7 with an 8. And of course that wasn't true. It was
Right.
it was the part of her Enneagram type. And on the next segment, I want to talk about when you overcome the Enneagram. That's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Here we are. We're making up the agenda as we go along.
And you know what? We're having fun doing it.
But so if you can, people get to a point that they can't go any further because of the programming is the perceived backlash within themselves
is so strong.
And that perceived backlash is always an illusion.
Yes.
But it feels real.
Yes.
And the backlash is always in it. It talks to you in that place inside of you.
Yes.
That is the most vulnerable. It may not be the most vulnerable for me, but it's the most vulnerable for you.
And that has to do with the story, your story.
And how negative energy works.
That's right.
It's not that powerful. It's not that smart, but it knows where your limitations are, where you're weak, where
Correct.
you're
and it uses it.
Where your kryptonite part is.
Yes,
to
exactly.
your super person.
And it uses it to stop you. And here I'm going to just give you an opinion of mine. The opinion is nobody gets to stop me from not only being a better person, being the person that I am truly inside, the essence of who I am, but nobody gets to stop me and tell me that I can't do something positive, not only for myself and the person next to me, but for someone else in the world. Because I see value in so many.
So in the
I'm
next segment, we're talking about getting rid of your Enneagram type. That's really exciting.
It's a really big deal. So stay tuned. And this is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. And you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about how to get rid of your Enneagram type. Is that correct?
Well, I wouldn't say it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that, what we've noticed is that after so many years of removing that 80%,
yes,
and it's going down,
yes,
a lot of people are not a victim
to the compulsions
of their Enneagram type. Yes. And, if, people have asked me, well, I want to be able to use it in the work world. I want to, be able to type people. I want to see.
And you can.
And you can. And the Enneagram is probably the best tool for that.
Yes, it is.
I agree. Astrology doesn't work that way. But what I've found is that if you keep going and going and going, mm-hmm. pretty soon those compulsions of your Enneagram type are no longer, don't have the same hold on you.
They don't.
I still see that I'm a 6 on the Enneagram. I still see 6 behaviors and 7 behaviors. That's my wing, 7 wing.
Yes.
But they don't have the same
hold
on me.
That would be the way I would say it. And I would say the same for myself.
Yes. And what's interesting is that my astrology, my natal chart in astrology, all of a sudden roars to the forefront. And I'm a completely different person. Yes. When you look at my astrology, I would never be a 6. My astrology, no. I'm a Sagittarius sun and a Aries ascending sign with a Scorpio moon.
Correct.
And that is not a 6. And most people that I see that are 6s, they don't have the astrology of, that's something that's
that strong.
Yes. Their astrology is stronger than their being a 6.
That's correct.
And 6s typically, they struggle to stand up for themselves, act in their own best interest, mm-hmm. See what's in their own best interest, all those types of things. Right. So, and, for you too, I mean, oh my gosh, we're starting to see your astrology come forward, and it's an amazing thing to see.
Correct.
And that Enneagram type of 4 is kind of dysfunctional.
Kinda.
Yeah.
No, it's really dysfunctional, everyone.
And it's not like any one Enneagram type is worse than the other.
No, it's not. But
the worst Enneagram type is usually your own.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that. And the other thing that's, to me, very interesting is when the compulsions of your Enneagram type that you've had all of your life, but you're using the ecosystem approach and you're changing these things, when the compulsions come back at you, there's a part of you that go, oh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And I get to choose whether I'm going to be part of that compulsion or not.
Yeah.
And wow, what a difference it will make in your everyday life.
One of the things that I've always had as a 6 was that capacity to be people pleasing, to tell people what they want to hear, to not to be disagreeable. And you can ask my wife, I'm so much more disagreeable than I've ever been before, and I'm blunt and I put it out there.
Yes.
And frankly, if you look at my astrology, I should be more obnoxious, Aries, Sagittarius. I mean, foot in the mouth, being bold.
But I have to tell you, there's a sense of humor here that is dynamic.
Well, and, I guess the point is that it's me.
It's you.
It's truly me.
Yes.
And the 6, that nice thing, nice guy, it just went along with everybody and did it,
Let's back it up just a little bit. You actually are a nice guy, but you're not doing it out of compulsive behavior.
Out of fear.
or out
Yeah.
of fear. Exactly. You are a nice guy. And it's very attractive. Let me just say it that way. It's the other stuff that the old stuff from the six that I see that you're working on to the point of it's amazing because you have better clarity today than you've ever had before.
It's really kind of exciting.
Yes.
And I think that's a big deal. I mean, there's so many Enneagram books out there that they frame it as the way to get to your soul, the way to see your soul or to enhance your soul. No.
Well, if you had,
I've never seen that. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, let me say this. If you had the evolution that we came here to actually get, then maybe that would be the case.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I said maybe.
Yeah.
And the reason that I say that is that the compulsions, my compulsions from my Enneagram type, and you don't have those same compulsions. And so we can see each other's vulnerable spots and also spots where we don't want anyone to know who we are.
If you understand the natal chart, they're so specific and there's so much variety in a natal chart, far more variety than they are in different types of Enneagram types.
Exactly.
And there's a detail that's present when you get rid of the confines of your Enneagram type.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that the Enneagram type can lead you to your soul. It actually is just the opposite. It's negative energy. And oh, by the way, I've always seen this. This is for those of you that study the Enneagram or know about the history of it. Mm-hmm. I think it was given to us by the other side because we were not seeing negative energy.
Yeah.
And
or seeing the truth of who we are.
Well, exactly. And people, they believe it's sort of like a lie. Your Enneagram type loves to put out a vision of who you are out in the world that isn't true. It isn't accurate.
Correct.
Twos, for example, they present themselves as being nicey nice, but they're not. Often they're not. Sixes, nice and agreeable and reasonable, but they're really they're doing that out of fear. Mm-hmm. You go through the whole Enneagram type. A lot of people use their compulsions in a way that they see as an asset. For example, a 1 might want to always be on time, but when it's a compulsion, you may choose to be on time at the expense of a relationship or expense of,
correct,
what's important in that moment for people around you.
Correct. Yes.
And that's the difficulty. If you've ever had to have a relationship with someone who's a workaholic, for example, the business world loves workaholics because they exploit them and they benefit from that workaholism, but their family doesn't, and their family can often see how destructive and toxic that is. So
correct. I agree with you on that one.
So there's a real benefit from overcoming that Enneagram type and seeing that the Enneagram is a way of seeing your negative energy, not who you are authentically.
Correct.
And it's kind of fun to when you delve into your natal chart and say, oh my gosh, this is who I am.
Yes.
Well,
and the only thing that I have to say that in my natal chart and my Enneagram type, which by the way is a 4, is that there's talents and creativity in both of those.
Yes.
And that is truly, that's a good thing.
Well,
but when they're used compulsively, it's not.
When they're similar like that,
yes,
it can get really confusing.
That's
when you have Virgo in your chart, which likes to have things in a specific way.
Correct.
And 4s can be that way too because they have these rules that they're bound by.
Yes.
But the difference is understanding, and this requires removing a lot of those bits that are covered up.
Negative bits.
Yes. But when you start removing those, and you can start to see there's a line, but you can see it.
Yes.
And
then you can decide and choose
right.
which way.
The problem is that you can't figure it out. People think that I don't need to clear it. I can just figure it out on mine. I use my intellectual horsepower.
And
it doesn't work that way. We've never seen that.
It doesn't. No, I've never seen it. And the other thing is that one of the best things about the ecosystem approach in dealing with the Enneagram and your natal chart is you have in using the ecosystem approach, it gives you the power to choose what's in your best interest.
Yes.
And when you don't have negative energy standing in your way, you get to choose, not trainings and programmings and all of the things that you grew up with.
When you live out of your Enneagram type,
that is correct.
You don't really have free will because your life is based on compulsions.
Yes.
So even though there may be some good compulsions,
sure,
loving, being on time, being productive,
sure,
being creative,
yes.
It's still compulsive.
Correct.
And a compulsive energy is always negative because it takes away your free will.
That is correct. And by the way, and then you don't make great decisions.
Yeah.
Not only for yourself, but for whomever you're connected with. That sort of thing. So,
the other thing I wanted to talk about here, I think this is about the ecosystem approach.
Okay.
So you're applying this in the world, and one of the hardest things that we've had to learn.
Okay.
I see this really clearly. This is more of a business thing, but a lot of people have come to us over the years and they want to be more spiritual.
Yes.
In their approach to business or their work
yes.
or how they make money.
Yes.
And in a way, it's kind of naive because what we try and help people do, and this is kind of in a nutshell, to try and be more authentic within themselves. So they go out into the world, the business world, which is not natural. It's an unnatural arena.
That is correct.
And
so, and if you're trying to be natural, that's not how the game is played.
It's not how the game. It's more of a game, and
right.
you have to play it in order to be successful at it. Mm-hmm. But when you can be natural with yourself, you can be natural with your family.
Correct.
That's where the big benefits are, and to know when you're doing each. Mm-hmm. Know when you're playing the game in business, and when you're trying to be natural.
Exactly.
Now, in your life.
But the ecosystem approach can really help you with that.
Yes.
So, Jason, we're at the end of this segment.
Yep.
So, what are we going to talk about in the next segment?
I don't know. We'll tell you. We'll tell you when we come back.
Come back and we'll figure it out, everyone. This is Jason and Patricia with the Ecosystem Approach Show, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Patricia and Jason with the Ecosystem Approach Show. And we're going to talk about how it's natural because of programming to deplete other people.
Each other's energy.
From each other's energy. And the bottom line is that it's not natural. And yet we still find, after we've been doing this work for a very long time, that every once in a while someone will come along and just grab a hold of our energy and walk away with it. And it's not okay. And so I think it's important to talk about it. Have you ever been? Well, I'm going to ask. Well, you.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
And the problem is, it's not black and white, and that demonizes. I know after we do this, then people will say, "Oh, do I take your energy?" They're going to come to us,
sure.
And they want to be rated. They want to know where they score on the
right.
energy depletion scale, and it's more complicated than that. I think we've done shows about that, about the exchange of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the reasons that we do so well, and people are really flabbergasted, but at the end of the day, we just want to be with each other.
Correct.
people don't understand that.
No.
There's so many people that don't want to be with their spouses
Or their partners. That's
because
correct.
there's a depletion that happens.
And someone feels responsible to fill that depletion up
Yes.
in some way. And the answer, or the way we see it, is that if we have an understanding of why we needed our partner's energy, but also how to go to life force energy and refill our life force energy, our vital energy for ourselves, it's pretty awesome. And most people have never been taught the importance of not taking someone else's energy. And if your energy isn't good enough for you, then remove the negative energy that's blocking you from it.
Well, and that's the key
Right there.
because the negative energy keeps you from restoring yourself.
That is correct.
Naturally, organically.
That is correct.
And that's why during the pandemic,
Oh yeah.
all these people had mental health crises because they were isolated.
Yes.
And what they were kept from doing is getting, when they go to the guy at the corner and thank him for the cup of coffee or the Starbucks or wherever they go, for that. They got a little hit of energy from that, and then they, when they were isolated, they couldn't do that,
and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with them.
Yes, and they were connected with their families, and sometimes that was positive, but a lot of times that was negative.
That's correct.
Your kids are driving you nuts. Your spouse was driving you nuts. That sort of thing.
Well, and most families, we'll put it this way, most families aren't with their kids and their spouse 24/7. And during the pandemic, it was happening a lot. And so that, but people would come to us and say, I don't understand. I want to kill my husband. I love him, but I want to kill him and I want to kill my kids. I love them too. So what do I do? And the first answer I would give is, activate life force. Activate life force. Let it come in through the top of your head. Those of you who have been with us for a while, you see me do this. It's just my way of demonstrating how that energy can go, how that energy can fill you up and allow you to let go of the stress and the anxiety and the overwhelm and all of the little picky things of life. If you pull in that life force energy, take a breath. Oh, it is just wonderful. And by the way, breathing is a way of taking in life force energy.
It is, and we don't see our own neediness. We don't see, I remember there was someone that you had worked with occasionally who told you that you and I were too close.
Oh, I've had that happen more than once.
You needed to spend more time
with them.
Yes, yes. They didn't say it specifically, but it was implied.
It certainly was.
And the problem is that people don't understand the exchange of energy.
No,
and so as a result, they don't often see their own neediness.
No,
and that's part of the problem. And that
correct.
And we can't. There's no. If the exchange of energy was like an accounting statement,
correct,
a ledger, and you could see, debits and credits and whether they match up or not,
right,
it would be far more obvious. But we don't see that.
No,
and that's why we connect so well. That's why we do so well. And the reason we do so well, I just need to make this very, very clear, is because we've been clearing the negative energy. We don't have to get it from each other.
Correct.
And when we're together, because we've cleared all that negative energy from ourselves.
Correct.
We have stuff to give to the other.
Yes.
And so it's never a deficit. It's always a positive.
And not only for one, but for both.
We've had so many people who are looking for a mate.
Yes.
They've come to us because they're looking for that love of their life, that soul mate, which
I want what you have, Patricia.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard that more than once.
And but one of the key points to that is understanding your own neediness.
Yes.
And how that works.
Yes.
And because when you go out in the world and you're looking for that neediness is sabotaging
Yes.
that ability to get that connection. And it's not just with people that are looking for a mate.
Yes.
That just want to have more social interactions, want to have a better connection with their children, a better connection with the people, their neighborhood, that sort of thing.
That is correct.
And they don't seem to understand why they're not having that. And it has to do with this exchange of energy. It's a big deal.
It really is. And so I'm just gonna, because we're running out of time. By the way, I've had a really nice time doing the question and answer thing today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But I just want to say to everyone, activate life force. Bring it in, pull it in through the top of your head and let it go to the tips of your toes. And then ask it to turn around and clean out, come back up your body and clean out any negative energy that is still hanging around. And do this like 3 times. It's so amazing that there's a peace of not only peace of mind, but a peace within that enables you to go, oh, now I can see what I need to see and get the job done that I was resisting doing. Now I don't have to kill my kids, and yell and scream at them, that kind of thing, because I can see that little Johnny over here and Susie over there, they're in need of things. And they believe, those children believe, that they're supposed to get it from me. Well, I'm going to teach them that they can get it for themselves.
Well, and it's natural.
It is natural.
It's natural for our children,
yes,
as parents, to take our energy.
Yes, it is.
As they learn.
That is correct.
But parents don't teach their kids how energy works.
No, they don't.
And they don't usually help them remove that negative energy.
That is correct.
Which could make a big difference.
Yes.
But it's just those are the only people in our lives that for lack of a better way of saying it, should take our energy.
Yes.
It's natural for them. Now, when they grow up, it's maybe time to stop. So
well, and yet occasionally, they will give us a call. We'll give them a call, and we'll exchange energy, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Jason, we're almost out of time. So, what are we going to talk about next week?
I don't know exactly. I think it's going to be about being level-headed, and that there's a downside to being level-headed.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've been working on that show for a while. So
okay.
Think about that.
Okay.
If this interests you, if this energy perspective on the world interests you,
yes.
Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for a free section. Mm-hmm. Listen to our show every week. We talk about how to work with energy every single week.
Exactly.
That's why we do the show.
Exactly.
And go to our Facebook page, theecosystemapproach.org.
Yes.
And in Facebook.
Yes,
and if you're there, please like us while you're there.
We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.